Has gone forward also for St.Kilda.
Umpire Matthew Nichols has the honour as we get underway from Subiaco. St Kilda trying to get first touch there through Luke Ball, unable to reel it in. Quick kick out of the congestion by Scott Selwood. Now a chance for Hayes, and they work it out now to find Andrew McWalter. Saints going forward. Now Santo taken down. Nice tackle there from Brad Ebert.
And you said that Michael Gardner's gone to full forward. Young Eric McKenzie's picking him up, who's playing his third league game as well.
Revolt up in the ruck along with King. Ball comes to Ebert though, quickly onto the boot. Not his best effort. Trying to go off the ground there was Hansen. Ebert involved again. Threw it away according to the umpire. King hands over to Lenny Hayes. Little undecided, wants support. Had to go backwards to find it. Sam Fisher, been good all year, uses Graham. And out to the wing. This is Dempster. Short. Finds the open man and gets it back. Now the West Coast Eagles have got their hands full. And getting in the back, the mark has been taken here by Gardner.
Just a free kick, I think. It's in the back, I think, John.
No, he just put his hands on his back just to fend off his direct opponent. As you see, Michael Gardner, just a little bit of it. There we go. There's the kick.
West Coast Eagles relieve the pressure momentarily, but now out of bounds.
Well, it looks like Staker's got that big job on Luke Ball. Montagna and Braun are going head-to-head.
Montagna involved, and again we find Lenny Hayes working back to the right boot, looking for King. Overcooked it a little. Wirpunda went without. That's a great second effort from King.
Gone.
Wirpunda doesn't like the attention from King either, and they're having a quiet conversation. Michael Braun supplying the tackle. It was a good one.
This is what this boy needs to do. He needs to run forward to the play when West Coast have got, and he can set him up.
Staker for Lynch, half volleyed it. Trying to shake Hudson, kept it in the area. Here's Prittis, got a handball forward. Nice work from Graham though, and now with the support of Hayes. Quick kick out of the congestion. Hand in there coming from Selwood, and now the West Coast Eagles go forward again, but only as far as Sam Fisher.
Good intent by West Coast. They're playing man on man. They're playing on the direct opponent, and at this early stage, winning their fair share of 50-50. So good sign for West Coast.
2.5 minutes played, term number 1. Fiora off and running. Good acceleration as well. Neat pass to Montagna. Wheels around. Revolt the target. Saw plenty of it. Takes the mark. Gardner heads back to the goal square. Milne lurking as well.
Gets the runner.
That's the last thing you need when your confidence is down, that the runner, I think it's a 5-metre protected area around the mark, and you heard the umpire there. Just got to be aware of what's happening around you. The play, you're trying to give a message, but give a goal away like this. Not good enough.
It's against the runner who came in the protected area.
Revolt 6 without a miss last week in game number 150. Gets the dream start.
Oh, well, you're right, Tony. That's just inexcusable to see here. Yeah, far too close. It's Daniel Metropolis, who's the West Coast Eagles runner, former player, so he might end up going to the bench on the phone. But young Matthew Spanger, just when Nick took that mark, just had to get some body contact on him early. I think he had just a bit of preservation of where he was, and instead of looking at the football and his direct opponent.
Saints draw first blood. Revolt with goal number 35 this year. Kicked 42 last season. Really has been leading from the front. King and Cox at it again. Staker looked to go off the ground. Couldn't find it. Hayes knocked away by Prittis. Tangle of arms and legs. Ebert involved. Will need a bounce.
Jason Blake is playing on McKinley at full back, where he played full forward and kicked a few goals last week.
Well, he started at full back last week and then went forward. And did it at both ends of the ground.
He's got a job here now, Stingline. Just mark that ball. He's playing on Jason Graham as a defensive half forward.
Hansen the target. Wants to go quickly. Lynch on the burst. Slipped at the inopportune time. Ball trickles toward the back. McKinley, good tackle on Montagna. Fans thought he was holding the ball. Umpire didn't see it that way. Montagna again on all fours. Hayes, Hodgson with problems.
Oh, I thought he ducked his head.
He's unlucky there, West Coast, but a pleasing sign for John Morsfeld, the match committee, was the pressure that the West Coast forwards applied. They've been criticised about that. They're just very one-dimensional, but at that time, and one early inside 50, they showed good desperation in trying to keep their ball in there.
Saints clear to Sam Fisher, top 10 in the AFL in marks. Been busy already.
Gardner off, Schneider on, so they're going a bit small, trying to just unsettle West Coast's match-up in the back half.
Fisher took a long time to decide there. Just hoisted inside the attacking 50. Not the advantage of his teammates. Fiora took on Prittis, came off second best. Embley went without it. Milne joining in.
I agree with you, Jacko. The intent is there at the moment. Just the control and the skill level. We'll just see if they can hang in there. But they, no doubt, tackling hard.
Need an early goal now. With all their good work so far, they need to just now put it on the scoreboard.
Got to go up the line to Hansen.
Yeah, but Goddard's going to come straight into this.
Off the bench, Goddard, uncontested, grabs the mark. Oh, the amount of rotations you have these days, you're going to have some good ones and some bad ones. Fortuitous for the Saints. They're going forward again at the back. Milne.
Well, it's good coaching here because Andrew Embley's trying to go back as a loose man in defence as Milne runs around and kicks it. Fantastic goal, good forward pressure, but on that occasion, Andrew Embley is not playing on young Milne, but Milne went to him to prevent him being that loose man in defence, and that's good play by the St Kilda forwards.
Now, Jacko, just here, Milne, you'd think would always play on inboard, and the umpire last week a couple of times shepherded off the man. You can see where the umpire, the field umpire, is between the goal and the point post. He stood behind him and manned the mark. Instead of standing in the corridor, the umpires have been shepherding off a couple of times last week. So I think they might have changed that, the umpires, to do it from behind the man on mark to set it deep in the forward line.
Goal number 38 for the season for Milne. He's been goalless just once this year. He knows how to kick them, and the Saints, with the first two, have a 12-point lead after 7 and a bit minutes of term number 1. West Coast with a free kick.
In the centre.
Push against Schneider.
Stay there, stay out.
Cox going for distance, wobbles one forward, playing in front. Fisher, Goddard slips across for help, was looking for Hayes, overdid the handball. Prittis to Staker, fends off one would-be tackler, dances around another, now goes deep at the back. McKinley couldn't take the mark. Blake was there with him, found it on the ground, was Hansen. It's a minor score.
Fantastic play, Tony, by Brent Staker. That's his role. He has to take the game on a little bit and be that avenue, bringing that ball back in the inside their forward 50. They're away here.
Saints get the ball smoothly up to David Armitage. Started on the bench, just a 20-year-old.
Move it on, play on.
Top 10 draft pick, though. Revolt makes the lead, and even his running ability couldn't track that down.
Well, I've already seen danger signs with Matthew Spanger. He's going to have his hands full. He couldn't even go with the speed running back with Rewald on that occasion. One of his teammates helped out and they missed the target.
Saints pressing again. Staker covering plenty of territory. Handball to himself. Cox there to ease the situation as well. They're pinned in their defensive 50 at the moment, the West Coast Eagles. Sliding mark taken here by Jamie McNamara. This pass left a little to be desired. Trying to help out Bo Wilkes with the support of Embley, who switches play and finds the target.
This is what Spanger needs to do. He needs to get it amongst the possessions. Get footy like here where he has, and Nick Rewald has to be accountable for it.
Spanger up the wing to the contest. Good body work there from Ben McKinley, working against Jason Blake. The 227s go at it. Left to their own devices by the umpires as Montagna gets it from Goddard and goes back in that direction. Saints full of energy to start the game here, as you might expect on a 4-game winning streak. Fiora knocked down, taking the kick by Brent Staker, and a free downfield.
I think that a little bit unlucky with Brent Staker because I think Fiora lost his footing just as he was going to be tackled. Let's see if he slips underneath it. It was going to be...
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, and he just ducked into the tackle.
Armitage caresses it for Revolt, who takes a strong mark.
Well, it's going to be a big ask for Matthew Spenger to play on this player, but as we heard the umpire say, it was a bit sloppy by Brent Staker, resulting in the downfield free kick. But this is where the West Coast defenders have got to help out Matthew Spenger. They've got to be a little bit more conscious, a bit more risk-taking, and peel off their man and make it a 2-on-1 situation where the player can come over the top and just help him, get his confidence up, knowing that he's squared a contest, Shorey.
In the last 5 years, Revolt's played 100 games and has been goalless just 7 times. He's a consistent performer, but that one's a minor score.
Bad miss.
Just looking at other options, you said McKenzie might be able to do it, a couple of those types of players. Wilkes, I think he'd be a bit too small, Wilkes, but it's going to become an issue sometime in this game, you would think.
Well, I think, sure, that they'll all get their chance some stage during the afternoon. So.
Well, you've been in that position, Tony, so how nervous is John Worsfold right now about that matchup?
Well, very, very nervous. He'd be sitting up there saying, look, we've got to give the kid a chance. It might only be a quarter, but if he was to kick 3 goals in a quarter, then the trend's just too big, you have to change it. And just discuss it with the youngster about, what's happening, what you're trying to do.
Brad Ebert getting the job done at the moment for the West Coast Eagles. Disposal into the open. No one in particular. St Kilda with numbers.
It's poor by West Coast there, just a kick in the space. I was just watching the fitness of Lacroix. Mark Lacroix just waltzed in. He could have had to have more of an impact in that running.
Here's Lenny Hayes with the support of Goddard, who unloads from 45. It's holding the line, and the Saints have kicked the first 3.
Well, I mentioned that West Coast, they look positive going forward, but they just kicked to an open space of 50-50, and that kick is quite dangerous because this is the direct result, a turnover, and players streaming down to St Kilda's forward line, as we see 5 players in picture screen running down with a shot on goal at the end. But Mark Lacroix just needs to have lift his intensity at going into the contest.
The other issue with their forward line, you've got Hanson, Lynch and McKinley, all not very good at ground level. The rebound's hurting at the moment.
Goddard hasn't kicked a goal for a month. That's his 6th of the year.
Well, CB's gone in the ruck now, and Cox gone into the full forward line.
Gee, that makes it even bigger.
Umpire Chris Camelins restarts. Saints are all over the West Coast Eagles here in the first 12.5 minutes. Taken off the ball, Fletcher. Still got the West Coast Eagles going forward though. Braun to Staker.
He's going to have a shot here.
Just outside the 50. The boy from Broken Hill goes to the goal square. Cox couldn't reel it in, a minor score.
That's good play. That's where you've got to break the lines. You know that St Kilda are a super quick side. Once they get running and get some space to work in, but you've got to hurt them the other way. And Staker's broken the lines a couple of times, so there's something there to work on.
Luke Ball in possession. Got 3 men. They find Sam Fisher. Wants to play on. Fancies his chances against Quentin Lynch. Accelerates and gets it to Revolt. Took it on the half volley. Chance for them to go forward once more. Milne lurking dangerously again. Good work from Selwood. They can't keep it alive, and now over the line.
Steady up back here, steady up, boys.
Quick restart from the boundary umpire. Seaby palmed it down, went straight to Dal Santo. Now Montagna, left alone, works inside the 50. Brendan Goddard kicked the goal from there minutes ago, and he comes up with a finish as well.
Well, just a tap over the back. It went straight to St Kilda. Their setting up at that stoppage was just far more quicker than West Coast. Just got caught napping there. West Coast had numbers behind the ball there, or behind the stoppage, and they were able to direct play. Handball back, shot on goal. We're just got to watch West Coast, that St Kilda got players that can kick beyond 50, so if they're hovering around the 50-metre line, man them up.
Lee Montagna gets his 9th goal of the year. He kicked 10 last season. It'll be top 6 for the Saints, and a 4-1 0-2 scoreline, 23-point edge as we go to Lee Colbert.
Just keep an eye on Max Hutchin. He's about to go up the race. He's got that left calf strapped up, and doesn't look too good for the Saints and Max.
That's not good news at all. He's struggled with injury. You know, last year he only played 7 full games. The Saints with their foot on the accelerator though, and Schneider handballing while prone on the ground. Quick kick out of there by Nikoski. Harvey getting back, 36-year-old. Oldest man out there today, Brad Ebert at 18, the youngest man right there with him. His stang line took on Del Santo.
Keep running.
Gets the ball off to Armstrong, the lead to Cox. Not a great pass for the big man. And Jason Blake's second effort was a good one.
Well, that's one player that's just down on a bit of confidence. We saw Armstrong kick across his body in an earlier contest, got smothered when he should have come back inside, I guess, the passage. But that time, encouraged himself to kick the goal.
Well, Harvey came off second best and has gone straight to the bench.
Yeah, he got a knee in the back, I think, in that tackle. Right near the bench.
Well, Lee Colbert has got better information than anyone down on the boundary line. We'll get to him shortly.
A loose man here now, St Kilda.
Goddard. Well, he split the difference there.
Right on, Braun.
Blake was equal to the challenge. Braun comes again. Robert Eddy with a handball to Blake, who's looking a little nervous. Under pressure from McKinley. Goddard, a tireless worker at the moment. So too McQualter. But they're going around in circles. Blake shrugs the tackle, gets it away. This is good pressure from the West Coast Eagles. They find the open man though. It's Robert Eddy. Looks for King. Now Santo running past. Not his best effort. The mark taken by Rupunda. Fletcher. Around to one player. Looks for Cox. Free kick going against Dempster.
Got to go back, but there's moving up the ground. A lot of their tall players are outside 50 now, the West Coast Eagles. The Crass has gone to full forward. So they've got a different setup there at the moment.
Be careful about this kick because they've got a spare man in defence.
Spanger drives long. Lacroix takes the mark.
He's put his hands in his back. It's a bit unfortunate because he's a player that needs to get his hands on the footy and kick some goals.
Well, they just made that move with Lacroix going forward. Gee, I don't know what that is. No, that was a mark. They need everything going for them at the moment. They don't want those ones turned against them.
17 minutes played in the first quarter. Mark taken here by Scott Selwood.
Free kick in the back.
The free kick
Not your kick.
going to Matthew Spanger.
He is doing, look, he's trying to work off Rewald. He's doing a good job in that part of the game, but he looks tired already. He can only bend down and pick that ball. That's what Nick Rewald does to you. Just run you off your legs.
Rupunda uses the run of Bo Wilkes. Searching kick finds Embley. Lynch leads now. Takes the mark. 75 from home. Holding going on in the goal square.
Well,
whistled at the moment.
Dempster's a spare man back, so they're just worried about this long kick in.
Lynch heading for Cox. Had 2 to beat. Loose ball. Diving over the top. Braun went without it. Now Santo, as smooth as always, brings it out, and Robert Eddy's finding a lot of the ball, term number 1. Back to Del Santo, caught on the right foot, doesn't want to use it, worked himself into trouble.
It's intentional up.
Jamie McNamara as we go to Lee Colbert.
Well, going all right for the Saints on the ground, but off the ground they got trouble. Maxi up the race and Harves, he's on the bike. He got a bad knee to the spine. He's had a couple of painkillers and he's trying to get going on the push bike.
Don't need that at 36. Revolt did that well. Hands over for Luke Ball. Measures the kick, but it's to the advantage of the West Coast Eagles, and sliding across Adam Selwood. Takes the mark. Rupunda peels off for him. The fans are involved here as well from Subi. The team might be down by 4 goals to 0, but they're still believing for the moment. Hansen had it knocked away. Prittis almost gave away a free kick. That goes unwhistled.
Oh, well done.
Strong work from the Saints. It comes to Luke Ball. Revolt on the lead.
I think that was McQualter who dived on that ball. That's a difference. They might be younger, the West Coast Eagles, but they're going to match it with the enthusiasm and the desperation. On that occasion, McQualter just dived at the contest, and that's how they kept the ball just outside 50 St Kilda. Fantastic play by McQualter.
Revolt kicked the opening goal of the game. The Saints lining up for number 5 here in the first quarter. That's well off the money to the near side, a minor score. get another look at Robert Harvey. Ebert just getting into his back kidney area there.
They hurt.
Into time on in the first quarter. West Coast Eagles doing a lot of defending at the moment. And the Saints pressuring again. Harvey's back onto the ground, and look at the awareness as he finds Revolt.
Now, Jacko, you'll know and I know it's a cardinal sin to get the ball smothered unless it's enormous desperation from the opposition side. Stanger was moving up the ground, he left Rewalt, and you'll see him there just coming back to him right now to man the mark-up. I don't think that was the kid's fault.
No, you're right there, Shorey.
He's had plenty of chances, Nick Revolt. 1 goal, 2 so far. And that's pushing away as well. 1 goal, 3.
A lot of people know the skills of the game have improved, but I think goal kicking's the one where you can maybe question, other than the really good full forwards, it's one area where players looks very nervous in the modern game to shoot a goal.
Well, he kicked 6 straight last week.
It's amazing, isn't it?
The ones that he's missed today have been gettable as Staker takes the mark. Defensive side of the wing. 4.5 minutes left on the clock. Ripunda. It's looping it back for Staker. Tucks it under his arm, charges off for Hansen. Cox on the move. Hansen honors the lead. King arrives late. Cox mobility. Dances around a would-be tackler. Works onto the left boot. They're overdue. But Cox can't provide the goal they need.
How good was that?
The beauty about it, he had one arm, he knew he was coming, so just absorbed it, but kept the line of the ball with his left arm, corralled it back into himself, and then the one hand bounce. That's what I like the most.
It deserved the goal, didn't it?
This is too easy for the Saints. Goddard got it from Blake. He marches up to the wing. Set Revolt a task here. He's got 2 to beat, and in front, Matthew Spanger couldn't hold on to it. Embley gets back. Outnumbered, Revolt wanted it more than anyone else, but he's shut down quickly by David Ripunda.
Well, Matthew Spanger's getting a great learning lesson out there. He's holding up his own quite well. He's had a couple of opportunities, and things haven't gone his way sometimes, but keep hanging in there, son, because he's having a real red-hot crack at it, which is good.
Luke Ball slung out of the action. No whistle forthcoming. Now umpire Chris Camerlins does oblige. 22.5 minutes played. St Kilda looking strong at the moment as Harvey works it out to Fiora. Now here's a man overdue to kick a goal, looking for his first of the year, but that's off the money as well. And this is now starting to become a problem for the Saints.
Well, Mackenzie's now gone to Rewalt, but an area of concern for West Coast is at the stoppages. They're just getting numbers too easy, and the ball's coming out the back far too easy for St Kilda at the minute.
Ebert, seen plenty of it so far.
Well, you heard the call, and the other issue too, Jago, you look to their forward line, and Hansen runs in a straight line, Quinton Lynch runs in a straight line. They're all up outside 50. They have got no linking up from the half-back line into their forward line with penetration. Mainly the midfielders not running with the ball.
Harvey taken high by Prittis. He's in the wars at the moment. Went unwhistled. Quick kick out of there by Luke Ball. Saints pressing again. And it's rushed for a minor score. Ripunda restarts looking for Cox. He's got the shortest name in the AFL, but he looms large. Looks up to the wing. Out on the lead, Staker. Did that a little too easy. The St Kilda coaching staff, one suspects.
I thought Hansen was under the ball then. And this is what I mean, Jack. You'd love it if you're a defender that your player gets the ball on the wing.
Well,
and
it was there, the push. But good coaching here by St Kilda, Ross Lyon. He's got Brendan Goddard, who's been picking up Ash Hansen. So they're trying to exploit his, I guess, lack of ground ball ability and pace.
Saints with numbers. King couldn't find it though. Left at the back for Blake to clean up. They bring it out and find the run of Sean Dempster.
Well, he's a great man if you can get free, Brendan Goddard. He uses the ball beautifully. And Harvey hard running here to the wing.
What about the run of him now? Oh, look at this.
Works in front of Eric McKenzie.
He's that tired when he kicked it.
came up with the error.
Stake if we can get it to him.
Cox looks in that direction.
He's got to run now. Just run.
Now Del Santo's got to chase hard here. This is the reason he got dropped a couple of weeks ago in pressure. Well done.
Staker for Hansen. Did well to scoop it up. Lynch running by, couldn't control it initially. Does so now. And now Staker. Tight angle, but a very gettable goal. And the West Coast Eagles have taken 25 minutes to get there first.
Well, Brent Staker has been criticised a lot over the years, but his game so far today has been fantastic. 9 disposals, but he's run. He got that ball at the middle of the ground, he kicked it in, but he followed up. And I guess against Del Santo, he didn't follow him, but he's got the running capabilities to get West Coast back into this game and be a bit of a force.
So what, Nick Del Santo, he's taken a long time to get back to the centre circle because he did chase hard early, but the second effort, you're right, was fantastic play by Staker.
First goal for 3 weeks for Brent Staker, 11th on the season. He was top 5 in the goal kickers last year with 20. Boy from West Broken Hill breaks the West Coast Eagles drought. Saints lead by 20. A little over a minute left here in quarter number 1. Montagna tried to give it away. Lost it, McWalter. Critters supplies the tackle, holding the ball. Well, Pritis is one of the few West Coast Eagles players that this year has held up his end of the bargain.
He's working real hard, Ash Hansen.
Looks for Staker a little deep with the kick. Good second effort from Brent Staker. Tries to get back to his knees.
Very lucky there, but great intent by West Coast. I mean, just had to hit that target by Ash Hansen.
Oh, well done.
It was well done.
He's playing for a career, I think, Brent Staker. That's the way he's attacking this game.
Cox strong in the contest. So was Adam Schneider, though. Ball out the back. Chad Fletcher, undecided. Works around Lenny Hayes. Hansen the target. Nudged out of it there by Goddard. Goes unwhistled. Here's Staker again. A one-man wrecking machine at the moment. Lynch retreats. Unloading Matthew Spanger. High ball. Even underneath it.
Yes, well done. Well, they're putting the question to St.Kilda at West Coast. They got off to a pretty good start, and then St.Kilda went bang bang, kicked 3 goals in a row. But to West Coast credit, their intent, their enthusiasm has been fantastic. Just their finishing up has been questionable. But they'll come in now at quarter time with a chance to reduce this margin, but put the question to St.Kilda where we're going to take it to you.
Hasn't kicked a goal for 8 weeks and only 2 this year, but Ebert gets the job done after the quarter-time siren. So, they fight back with back-to-back goals, the West Coast Eagles, after they were down by as much as 20.
But he's still on the bench at the moment, so that could be a concern for the Saints.
Well, the calf was the only part of his leg that wasn't injured last year. He missed games with thigh, hamstring, quad and groin problems. Let's hope it's not the calf. He'll have the complete set. Underway term number 2, and it's Lenny Hayes getting the Saints forward. He's a little nervous in the back line. Eric McKenzie coughed it up, staying with it there. Robert Eddy, who's been prominent so far. And the West Coast Eagles under enormous pressure. Jason Graham is just slowly back to his feet. Body language suggests he may have cocked one across the face. King and Cox.
Play on.
Cox winning the tap. And a free kick going to Nick Del Santo. The umpires seem more aware of this
Off the ball
than ever before, Tony.
Well, that's what the 3 umpires are there for. We hope they do pick them up now, but you're right.
Del Santo for revolt, outnumbered 2-1, taken strongly, and a free kick going to the Saints captain.
Well, I'd like to see the replay here because it was good double team. We called for it in the first quarter that West Coast players have got to do this, and Bo Wilkes coming back.
Oh.
Well, it's around the shoulder, and we've got him in the neck region, so...
He plays on quickly here. Revolt works around the body and has missed everything.
Well, he's got to size that better, Nick Revolt, because he's comes under a lot of criticism about his goal kicking, and his last 4 on shots he has missed. So Probably better off to just balance on his right foot because he's a right foot kick.
Even those contests, though, that marking contest, we're trying to even it up and help the forwards because flooding became an issue. Flooding's not that big an issue now, but the chopping of the arms, there's no way known that could be a free kick, I wouldn't think.
Adam Selwood gets it from Wirpunda. Hard running here by Scott Selwood. The brothers looking to combine.
It's good work there by Scott Selwood. He held his body, didn't get pushed off the ball and didn't go to ground, earning himself a free kick.
It's to Armitage. Staker the target. Arms taken there. He'll win the free kick against Lenny Hayes.
Very lucky there, West Coast, because they had to turn the ball over. St Kilda on their way through the corridor.
Stingline leads, but Staker ignores that. Going a little deeper. Hanson prominent. Couldn't get to the contest. Here's Lynch. Found it on the ground. Gave it up, though, to Clinton Jones. Robert Harvey gets it back. Pinned in the back pocket. Now fires over the top, looking for the run of Adam Schneider. Montagna there in support. Stingline unable to create too many problems. And Eddie races out to take the mark. Playing just his 5th game, Eddie. It's the first 12 games of the season. Robert Harvey, the work rate continues. Looking for revolt. Hit him on the chest. Bounced off. Wirpunda went without it. McWalter getting involved, but now Wirpunda finds it again. Needs help. Scott Selwood can't find it for the moment. Body work from Graham. McKenzie goes down. Wirpunda gets it back from Jamie McNamara. Around the body, was looking for Seaby or the boundary line.
Well, good pressure by St Kilda, but it just needed a steady head and experienced player just to take the ball and kick it down the line or find a target. But not much pressure there, David Wirpunda. Needed to execute that better.
3 minutes played in the second quarter. Staker a little reluctant to give the ball up there. Just collapsed to the ground. Ebert, quick hands, finds Cox. Hanson has 2 to beat here. Bounce didn't favour him either, so he got the trifecta. Goddard squaring the ball up for Sean Dempster. Coming the other way, Sam Fisher is there to help out. Now they've got run out on the wing as well. That was Sam Gilbert. Getting it back as well for Sam Fisher. Had to get rid of it quickly. Hayes likewise. Sam Gilbert just hoists it high in the air. A man with his eyes on the ball was Aaron Fiora. Plays on. Ran into trouble though. It was a good effort from Ebert.
He's been good, Ebert.
Been one of the best for the West Coast Eagles so far. Hanson takes it on the bounce. Not a lot ahead of him though, so he's happy to retreat for Cox.
It's a beautiful
Great kick.
Ruckman finds the target. That's LaCroix.
Fantastic kick. I don't know whether Cox kicked it on his left foot.
He did.
He might be having a problem because he's got a problem maybe with a sore spot there, but just beautifully weighted kick to LaCroix.
LaCroix centres the ball. West Coast couldn't find a marking target though. Here's Staker wheeling and dealing. Gets the handball off, missed the target. King is there to clean up with the support of Harvey and now Montagna.
They had to do better there, West Coast. They had 3 at that contest, and you would think that Chad Fletcher with his left foot coming in on that side had right away of goal.
They're finding time and space. St Kilda at the moment. Hayes hands over. Clinton Jones, well known to the West Australian faithful here. Eddie taps it on intelligently. Surely Nick Revolt won't miss this one. His second.
Well, good work by the St Kilda forwards, but blame must be laid in the middle of the ground that they let Clint Jones run the ball through unaided. A few of the players looked at him and then thought he was going to kick it, peeled off him, and then he kept coming. Look, 3 players there, very poor chasing, had to be stronger there, and he just broke the line. Well done by Milne, sized it up. Good St Kilda goal.
I think that might have been Eddie, young Eddie there playing as that small forward. Yeah, well done. Intelligent tap on.
Well, he's putting together some very good numbers, Nick Revolt. He's kicked at least 1 goal in every game so far this year. As Cox gets the tap, works to the advantage of Hayes. Jones, now Harvey. Back to Lenny Hayes. Out wide, Gardner, the former West Coast favourite, but not so now. and couldn't keep it alive.
Well,
He just couldn't get down to ground level, could he?
look, Tony, very dangerous time for West Coast because they've had a couple of blowouts in second quarters, and no doubt that Ross Lyon would have mentioned that at the quarter-time huddle, that take it to them. And the early signs here at St Kilda look like they're going to press at them hard.
It's been their worst quarter all year, Jacko. They've only won 3 out of 16 second quarters.
No small forward there for West Coast. It's been a problem at this early stage.
And a chance for Blake. Shrugs the tackle from Hansen. Now Sam Fisher bounds away. Montagna, hard running is rewarded.
That's why I'd like to see Wirapunda. I think he's off the ground at the moment. Just as a small forward, just see if he can kick you 2 to 3 goals a game. It just adds to the scoring zone, which you're having problems with.
Only the second kick for Stephen Milne. He's looking for revolt. Knocked away from him. Coming again, Schneider. Tackled by McNamara. Bo Wilkes involved as well. Played 7.5 minutes in the second quarter. Umpire Martin Ellis to restart. St Kilda with a 20-point buffer as Revolt wins the tap. Was looking for Clint Jones. He found it eventually, works around the body. Didn't get a lot on the kick though. They wrestle 20 metres from goal. Plenty of numbers there.
Staker off, Prentice back on. So they're using their rotations, West Coast.
Ross Lyon on the phone as well. Cox double hands it straight to Stephen Milne. He's dangerous in this situation, and he puts the finishing touches on.
Well, the West Coast mids are looking at each other there. Young Adam Selwood just got pushed off there a little bit. You only need a little bit of space. It was a fantastic tap back, but that's the type of player that Milne is. Just get in the right spot.
I just wonder about Cox hitting that ball wide of the contest area. You're 10, 15 metres out. What you want to do is maybe make another ball up and then get a quick kick out. But that was just too easy for Stephen Milne. They'd have to change that strategy, I would think.
Revolt and Milne kicked the first 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of quarter number 1. Revolt and Milne have kicked the first 2 goals. Played 9 minutes here in the second. Gardner wins the tap.
Great hands.
And Graham, dangerous in this situation. Let's fly from 65 at Wobble's side and out of bounds on the full.
I was just going to say Tyson Stengline's done a great job on Jason Graham. That was his 4th possession. So he's playing a negating role on Graham across the half-back line and doing the job really well for his team at the moment.
Cox working hard, now in the back pocket, leading for Embley. Fletcher on a long lead, but he was shadowed by Sean Dempster, so Cox reluctant to head there. Stengline can't get in the contest there. Armitage had the better of it, but now Tyson Stengline finds it. To Staker, who can go for a run.
He's going to keep going.
Hansen on the lead, looks beyond that. Lacroix backing back to the goal square.
Sized that up very, very well, Lacroix. He looked to put the hands in the back, but he held down. He just kept his eyes on the line of the ball. And well done by West Coast by looking at the longer kick. And Brent Staker certainly had an impact for his side. That's
You might have found one here,
that's
Jacko.
5 inside 50s that Brent Staker's had, 14 disposals. But he just assured himself. He took the game on. And West Coast, when they do that, they look so much more threatening.
Lacroix 11-2 so far this season. Should be easy for him. Made the goal umpire do some work, but he gets the goal.
Well, Tony, it's all about momentum, and play like that when you carry it through the middle of the ground. Good skills. He looked up. He had Ash Hansen in his vision, but he went the longer option. And he's a very clever player, Mark Lacroix. Just got in the right position, presented himself. He needs to do more of that. He needs to add a bit more into his game because he's a good overhead mark.
I just see this with Brent Staker, and I haven't seen this in his career before. I doubted him sometime. I think he's playing for survival, but just to break the lines like that, that's penetration you want in the modern game.
Lacroix kicks the goal. Let's go to Lee Colbert.
Dean Cox up the race for the West Coast Eagles. Not great news for him. Max Hutchin's day is over, boys. He's looks like he's torn his soleus, so he just can't get going, Maxie.
He's what?
Where is that?
It's in your calf, boys. Left calf. Soleus muscle.
Thanks, Dr. Colbert. The margin at 20. I started this quarter with the Saints leading by 14. Braun playing like a man possessed. Gives it up for Mark Nikoski.
Good vision.
Seavey all alone. Can't take the mark. Goddard had trouble reeling it in as well. Looks like a Bermuda Triangle there at the moment.
Oh, Mark Seavey, what happened there, John? I think he fell over his own shadow.
Look at the replay. I do know the sun.
The sun comes that side.
That sun does come that side, so we'll give him the benefit of doubt. But
no, I don't think he was. It wasn't that he ducked his head. I think it's just the awkwardness of it. I don't know whether he tripped himself up or the sun was a major issue.
Stingline supplies the tackle on Graham. They've still got numbers. McWalter for Sam Fisher. Hurriedly onto the boot.
He's working hard, Selwood.
Tracks it down. Adam Selwood. Manhandled over the line by Stephen Milne. Here's Mark Seavey again, Tony.
Well, he just couldn't get up there, could he?
It was almost as though he was off before he'd actually controlled the mark.
Just looked like a drunk giraffe, I thought.
Haven't seen many of those, but I'll take your word for it.
But you know it looked awkward anyway.
Out strongly, Robert Eddy, who's been impressive, couldn't hang on to the mark. Here's Nikoski. Lynch, the target. Worked goal side of Sam Fisher. Saints with numbers. Chance for Aaron Fiora over the top. Lenny Hayes.
That's where Ben McKinley's just got to get a little bit better. He had to allow big Quentin Lynch to come through. Just hold his player, his direct opponent behind and in a shepherd, but encourage the bloke that's looking at the goals to continue to run forward.
The other thing too, knowing you're going to be tackled fairly quickly, to have your hands clear, just so they don't pin your hands and you make, it was just the inefficiency of the act. I thought was pretty ordinary from Ben McKinley.
Middle stages of the second quarter. Goddard coming up for disposal number 15. No one has more.
Well, they seem to have responded, West Coast, after the 2 goals to Rewalt and Milne. Just steadied a little bit of the flow and got a bit of play themselves. Fisher again, winging it out wide, needing to make some ground there. Robert Eddy can't reel it in. The crowd gives him some advice as he goes by, and there's Dean Cox sitting alongside Embley, and that's not a promising sign. Lynch knocked down, goes on with Staker with strength, shrugs the tackle of Robert Eddy. Inside the attacking 50, Goddard straight at them. The coach will like that, but perhaps not the disposal. Staker, he's got problems. Wrapped up there by Andrew McWalter and others. Good thing about Brent Staker too, he's prepared to use his body, throwing his body around in the packs and taking players on. And how tall will he have to be? 6'4". 6'3". Well, his dad Alan, games record holder at West Broken Hill, and his uncle Peter, they were 2 nonsense defenders as well. So no surprise he's got that in his makeup. This is Graham, Braun, in a tackling machine. They forced the error, chance for Armstrong, Stingline, Braun again, Lynch had a man over the top, sees him now, works it to Ebert, a goalkeeper in the first third, didn't get it off quickly enough, but it comes back to the South Australia. Piece of magic for the West Coast fans. Tony, what I liked about that, Brett Ebert, it looked like it took a long time, but he kept himself involved in the play and he didn't panic. Well done Armstrong in getting the ball and keeping it alive. A chain of handballs here. The big Q gets it forward of the play, but look, it took forever, but he stayed involved. He got on the front foot. Great shepherd by Ash Hansen, but he's having, we were talking about Brent Staker, but young Brett Ebert, 11 possessions. He's kicked 2 goals and he's having a good day out. Well, that's a career day already for Ebert. Second goal, he's never done that in a game. And there's the treatment for Jason Graham. Hodgson already out of the equation. Harvey off early as well, but now moving okay as Cox back into the ruck. Wins the tap. Lenny Hayes sharked it though. They're up and about at the moment, the Eagles, and Brent Staker's been a major factor. They go forward again. Lurking at the backs, McKinley. Blake tackles him. Fans thought he didn't have it. They roar at Subi, and
the umpire, unmoved. Quick hands from McWalter, and Jason Blake wrestled over the line.
It's an important passage of play, not because of just they're kicking a couple of goals, but they're taking St Kilda on. Yeah, definitely free kick right in front of the umpire.
Cox. Staker was there again, couldn't reel it in. Quickly onto the boot of Scott Selwood, and up and under. Into the pocket. Hanson recovers. And that's almost deliberate there from Adam Schneider.
That's deliberate, I've seen.
I don't think he was trying to handball it or keep the ball in play, did he,
That's only
Tom?
one way he had intent there. It was a boundary line. He's having a bad day, Martin Ellis.
Ripunda toward the boundary line, and now over.
Just that one thing about McKinley, no doubt held after he got rid of the ball and taken to the ground, but what I liked was his second efforts. I don't think he's great at ground level. He's got to keep that pressure in the side forward 50. Great tap here.
Another chance for the Eagles, stepping back. Adam Selwood can't convert.
Oh, their tails are up, and they put the question to St Kilda. St Kilda know that they've got a game on.
Sam Fisher. Disposal not the best. Al Santo, quick hands, diffuses the situation. Armitage to the run of Montagna. Milne goal side of his opponent. Lurking dangerously. Adam Selwood there with him. Now the race is on. The ball knocked toward the boundary line. Nick Revolt wants a free kick.
I don't think so, Nick. I think
If he had given that one, I
the
reckon
supporters would have gone right off. They're having a good 5 to 6 minutes here, the West Coast Eagles.
Prittis hurriedly onto the boot. Ebert is there.
good contest.
Lynch comes through strongly. Here's Staker again. He's everywhere.
He's got to go all the way. Got to go all the way here.
No one's coming out.
From 55, Brent Staker heads for home and puts the finishing touches on.
Glenn Jakovic, you have unearthed a midfield star. You picked it before the game, Brent Staker, and you had to go all the way here. Well done to Quentin Lynch. Just
That's
the
where
effort
the goal
to keep the
came
ball. No doubt, the ball kept alive, and he covers the ground so well. You say he's 6'3", 6'4", athletic. He might have found his niche. I know he's been around for a fair while, but that is just brilliant play and the penetration you need in the modern game, and then the finish, magnificent, and that's uplifting for your teammates.
And it was great running by Ash Hanson, not to lead up to him to bring his direct opponent. He went back to the goal square, which created that space.
Approaching time on in the second quarter. Margin has been cut to 7. Brent Staker's season high, 3 goals round 8 against North Melbourne. Well, that's in some danger here as we go to Lee Colbert.
Just an update on Jason Graham. He's gone up the race also. They've tested his left knee for all the ligament damage, but let's just hope he's okay.
Montagna inside the centre square, caresses it for Gardner. Couldn't finish the mark, had plenty of it. Wilkes on all fours. Milne gets it around the body to the hot spot, but the Eagles, they're busy at the moment.
Oh, that was a throw in front of the umpire.
McNamara, I think. Well, Embley with strength for Fletcher. Lynch, tackle, gets the kick away. Cox running onto it. The Eagles have only 2 players inside their attacking 50 at the moment, so Fletcher's got the job ahead of him.
Good spot.
Looking for Embley. Goddard came a little harder. Ebert can't control it. Sam Fisher for Robert Harvey, and now Milne. Had support running past. Hands over to Sean Dempster. Gardner the target.
Did that very well.
Good wrestle and nice work from Bo Wilkes.
Well done, Bo Wilkes. He just held Michael Gardner at bay, but he kept his eyes on the ball. Look at his eyes on the ball here. He knows he's got... Yeah, well done. That's what you want to see. You want to see the young players take that responsibility. Well done, Andrew Embley, put his body on the line.
That's what's happened. The last 5 minutes, there's been some courageous acts by players to keep the ball alive for their team. Oh, a dangerous kick here. Player just came off the bench.
Didn't see him.
McWalter, and he did a good job against Embley, who came off a little second best. Montagna drives it forward. Revolt lost it in the sun. McKenzie out to clear the danger zone. Ebert.
Well Lynch is on
Has
his own.
Lynch.
He's going to go too.
Lecrae on the charge, looks beyond that, going deep to the goal front.
That's
Nice
smart,
mark,
Ben
McKinley.
McKinley. You have to compete like your teammates are doing up the ground.
And especially when Armstrong was front and square, he peeled off his blow to rove that contest. You've got to be a lot stronger in that contest.
Blake steady in defence to defuse that. Now they find Schneider, defensive side of the wing.
I think that would really hurt Johnny Worsfold. He'd be sitting up there, being the competitor he is. He's saying all the midfielders are doing their job. Their defenders have held up a couple of times under pressure. Come on, we need to compete better than what Ben McKinley did then.
22 minutes gone. Approaching half-time. The mark taken here by Clint Jones. 24 disposals and a goal in the win last week against the Hawks. Kicking not his strong suit. Cox comes strongly, couldn't complete the mark. Now a tangle of arms and legs, and we'll need the umpire. Well, the West Coast have kicked the last 3 goals and just 7 points behind. Pritis won the tap. Braun around the body. Here's Hansen. Marking on the chest. Handball over Nikoski. Wirapunda peels off for him. Lecrae, the only other target.
Oh, that is
what a
wicked.
pass!
The beauty about that is he had the confidence. He just took a few more steps. He took the player on, ran through the corridor, had a bounce, and then put it on his left boot, penetrating kick that he is. That was a confidence kick because he had to split the middle there. He was kicking to a 2-on-1, potentially a 2-on-1 contest, but he hit his target. Well done, Mark Nikoski.
You did well there because it was Sam Fisher. We can just see him in the front of that marking contest, and that was the gap that he needed. Beautiful kick on the run. Gee, I tell you what, they're winning the contested ball at the moment. This is the problem St Kilda had early in the year when they weren't travelling well.
Lecrae. It's not his best effort. A minor score. A straight kick the difference after the Saints led by 26 points at the 8-minute mark of this quarter. They're on shaky ground as Montagna goes to Goddard. Now Fiora. Happy to slow it down. Still more than 3.5 minutes on the clock. Del Santo. Off and running. 2 bounces. Now undecided. Looks for Harvey in the middle of the ground. Drew him forward with a hand pass. Running onto it, Gilbert. And Clint Jones has got it now. Retreating to Del Santo. Not a lot on offer in the forward line. Milne peels off now. Right there with him, Adam Selwood. Rapunda to help out. Stengline. They run it out convincingly. Embley.
Well done.
Well, that's terrific running from Jamie McNamara, and Lecrae the target.
That's got to be a free kick.
Hansen joining in. He wants a free kick as well, but the Saints did that well.
Desperation, good third effort there by Mark Lecrae.
Jones knocking it forward. And Lenny Hayes on with it now. Milne the target. Ball sits up high, cleared both him and Adam Selwood. Milne, who kicked the Saints' last goal, wobbles it forward at a minor score.
Well, great pressure there by Jamie McNamara.
Let's have a look at this marking contest. Oh, the player came from the side. It was in the front.
He was committed to it, so give him the benefit of the doubt. Good contested footy.
Rapunda uses the corridor, finds Chad Fletcher.
Braun's out in the wing by himself and he's going to go that direction.
Braun being busy. Disposal number 11 for him is Robert Harvey. And the Saints are out of trouble. McWalter's got problems though. Hansen wraps him up.
Good decision, but West Coast, the feature about their play today, Tony Shaw, is their just commitment at the contest, at the body. They're tackling a lot harder, and when they're doing that, they give themselves every opportunity to be in the game.
90 seconds away from the major break. That was strong body work.
It's forced Rewald up the ground too. He went for that ruck work then, so he's gone right up the ground, whether it's kick chasing. Stephen King's gone to full forward for St Kilda, so A lot of rebound opportunities for West Coast Eagles if they can get the ball to ground in their defence.
Clint Jones, tackled by Braun.
And so much so that St Kilda have got a spare player in their defence as we speak now. We've got Sam Fisher, so they're obviously conscious of West Coast pace or ball movement into their forward 50.
Quick kick by Michael Gardner, out of bounds on the forward. Only 2 disposals so far for Gardner. Spenger can get a good look at that. A congested area, the Saints win control.
Go, 1 metre! That's it.
Sam Fisher.
Oh,
Looks
well
short. Embley
Spanger's on here if you can get it to him.
cut it out. Handball over the top for Braun. Centres the ball and they find McKinley.
Well, that's a fortune, but if you're playing front, Tony Shaw, you give yourself every chance. So McKinley got a chance now. He was just hovering, but that turnover, well done Andrew Embley, just picked it.
Well, if you put enough pressure on midfield, you make the opposition then try and keep control of the ball, possession game, and they don't penetrate. So sooner or later they're going to make a mistake, and well done Andrew Embley there.
I'll take that back because Michael Braun did look inside on that replay and saw 2 West Coast players. So it was a good cross-of-the-body left foot kick.
The West Coast Eagles leading goal kicker this year, Ben McKinley, comes in and adds another. They've kicked 4 without reply.
Well, I think he needed to do that, Jacko. He needed his effort before about 5 minutes ago wasn't good enough, and he needed to score for his teammates to say, OK, you're doing it upfield, I'm going to help you out here.
And making the change now, Dean Cox comes off for a well-earned rest, but Mark Seaby's gone on into the ruck now. He has, well, there's only 12 seconds left, but he needs to now stand up and just give that support role for Dean Cox and Quentin Lynch. Quentin Lynch is in the middle now.
Shoot. 12 seconds left on the clock. St Kilda kicked the first 4 goals of the game. The West Coast Eagles have kicked the last 4, and it's a 1-point spread.
St Kilda got 2 behind the ball now, so they're obviously conscious of West Coast winning this clearance and getting a quick kick in their forward 50.
Trying to stem the flow. Here's Graham, who spent time off the ground. Lenny Hayes, disposal number 20 in the first half, the most by any player. And the fans will be happy with what they've seen here. Gardner thinking about it. He was wearing blue and gold. It might be an option to ping away. But we have a ball game. The Saints have given up a 26-point.
John.
Great second half to look forward to here. Umpire Chris Camelins does the honours. The Saints lead by a point. Dean Cox getting down and getting dirty amongst it all. Then Quentin Lynch emerged with the ball. Hard ball to be won at the moment. Rapunda picked it up like he dropped his wallet. Quick kick forward. Loose ball, revolt, found it on the ground. Milne lurking dangerously. But on that occasion, Bo Wilkes was steady. But a chance now for the Saints. Luke Ball goes to work. They get the excellent start.
Well, Tony, you've got to put that goal to the tackle that was put on, applied to David Wirapunda as he came through. Got the quick ball in, but St Kilda, they just had numbers around the contest. 3 players there in particular to get that handball back, a chain of handballs, and Luke Ball finished off the good work. That's the start that Ross Lyon would have asked for at half-time. Now to put the pressure back on West Coast, but very good start. Nick Riewoldt in that customary position at about 35 metres out, contested that ball and got the ball out.
Well, Luke Ball doesn't kick a lot of goals. That's his first in 7 weeks, his 6th for the season. Goal kicker last time these 2 sides played, though. Margin back to 7. Bounce. Cox winning the tap. Going in strongly there, Robert Eddy. In fact, a little too strongly. Free kick for Stephen Armstrong. Looking to go long. Coming out, McKinley.
It was like the parting of the Red Sea at centre half forward there. Most of the leads were made out wide, away from the top of the 50-metre arc, and Armstrong just didn't kick it well, just kicked it high, bit of momentum on it, elevation to it, and McKinley just ran into open space. No one dropping in that space and helping out.
Good thought process by the West Coast half forwards, not dropping in or creeping back into that space where Ben McKinley could lead into.
Kicked the West Coast Eagles' last goal from a similar range. This time stretching for the distance. The accuracy has suffered. Quick restart from the Saints. Graham appears to have shaken off the earlier niggle. Neat pass as well as he finds Sean Dempster, who's coming into the game. Running past Sam Gilbert. Going deep. West Coast stand firm, but lurking dangerously here. Schneider quickly onto the boot, a minor score.
He had more time than Adam Schneider. Just thought the pressure was on, and that's what happens even if you have a break at half time. You think the pressure that the West Coast put on before half time is going to continue, and you kick quicker. So just had to have enough poise to hold that ball up a little bit there.
Nikoski hands over.
He's led well, Ash Hansen. He's led in the ball carrier's vision at all times, and now coming up for possession number 10.
Lynch on the lead as well. Lacroix out on the long lead in front of Fiora. He takes the mark.
Well, that's a good matchup for West Coast Eagles. I don't think you want Aaron Fiora playing deep defence. So whether he started on him on the half-forward line, Johnny Worsfold, now Lacroix, you just push him straight to the square if he's playing on Aaron Fiora.
Well, this will test him because the race where the West Coast players finish training, they always go in and kick 2 or 3 last shots on goal as they go into the showers. So they've plenty of practice from this spot, and they do kick a fair few from there.
Lacroix.
Gee, I put the mock on, didn't I?
What?
Misses to the near side, a minor
done that
score.
the day you were playing, but now it's the modern times. So techniques have changed, Jacko.
Montagna to restart. No one on the mark, so he ambles away. 4 minutes played in the third quarter.
But was a gettable shot for him. He needs to kick those goals because they need to just get one back. St Kilda have started positively. West Coast need a steadier.
Sam Fisher, been one of the Saints' best again today. A little indiscriminate with the kick though. That's a clanger. Straight to the opposition. The West Coast Eagles are looming here. Ebert in traffic. Braun running past Predis with the left boot. Lacroix on the lead.
There's that matchup. I would think that Ross Lyon would change this fairly quickly. I know it won't be Sam Fisher, could be Sam Gilbert, might go and get that role. But well done also, West Coast Eagles. They've stopped the flow of St Kilda from their half-back line, and that's where that turnover came, by Fisher kicking down the line, and then just a chain of handballs. They're getting some midfielders now running the lines and penetrating.
They need to hurt him on the scoreboard now.
An injury-interrupted season for Mark Lacroix. Kicked 2 goals in round 1, missed the next 10 games, but has been a goal kicker in 5 of his last 6. This one sliding across the face, another minor score.
He'd be very disappointed because he's generally prides himself on his goal kicking. Does kick a lot of goals.
11-2 coming into this season.
Generally a very straight kick for goal.
Coming into this game. Goddard. Disposal number 19 for him. Now Del Santo. One way, then back the other. Sam Fisher.
Just the flow. Jacko, like the first quarter you saw St Kilda, they've just stopped, haven't they? I'll give it the credit to the West Coast, the way that they're holding the ball up fairly well.
Robert Eddy goes for distance. Milne.
Well, that's the type of player. He'll cut, he'll dart back inside and just keep moving. And on that time, just turned Adam Selwood inside to his defence. He did slip, but you're playing on a slippery customer.
Milne comes in, goal kicker in the first and second quarters. And he's got the yips as well.
Still throwing up that skill of goal kicking, John. I just think it's amazing how players from that level should be able to convert, and West Coast have been the main problem in that early third quarter.
Nikoski looking for Braun, who had to go back with courage, but in best position, the mark taken by Robert Eddy. He's coughed it up as well. Good awareness there from Stephen Armstrong. Nikoski patiently. Embley has support from McNamara. Joining him Wilkes, and now they find Ebert. Kept running here, Andrew Embley.
Gee, he meant that. I think he tried to kick that up the side of his boot.
Got it in the direction of Rapunda. He couldn't find it though. Armitage was there. McKinlay arrives. and looking good about it as well. Embley contests there against Sam Fisher, and Fiora will escort it over the line.
Let's have a look and see if he did mean to kick this. Yeah, he's had a look then before he's kicked that off the side of his boot into Wirrapunda's path.
Good vision he saw, David Wirrapunda.
Well, he's a man of innovation. When he lost his voice, he'd clap his hands there a couple of seasons ago to get the ball. Fletcher goes down.
Don't want to do that too often, they might throw you a fish.
The one pleasing aspect of West Coast play today, Tony, is just their passage to goal. They've gone direct through the corridor. Ash Hanson's presented himself a number of times.
Embley couldn't find it. Good work from St Kilda's defence. Standing firm at the moment.
Just need a goal here because of their hard work, just to make you feel like you've earned. You need some reward.
8 minutes played since half-time. Only one goal for St Kilda. King, short kick.
We'll kick this one.
Lacroix pinned on the boundary line, swings it back, and the ball rushed through for a minor score. Straight kick separates the teams. Robert Harvey. Be back here at Subi in 3 weeks to play the Dockers, St Kilda. And Revolt charging out takes the mark.
Back 2 metres! Back 2 metres!
Centering ball, dangerous kick. He was equal to the challenge there, Sam Fisher. And now it's Eddie in traffic. Back to Revolt. McWalter's being good. Quick kick. Selb with some work to do. Manhandles Milne out of the equation. Running onto it, Blake. Looking for some goal-kicking heroics like last week. And the Saints run in. They've kicked another.
Well, that's the difference between the two sides in this early part of the third quarter. When they've gone forward, they've finished off the good work. Just a good 50-50. They kept the ball alive. Just Bo Wilkes needed to be more tighter on his man there and got the ball out, and that's the direct result. Good forward entry by St Kilda. They'd be very positive about their first 5 minutes of this game, this quarter.
One player who needs a lift is Prittis. 6 possessions so far to this stage of the game.
David Armitage kicks his 10th goal of the season. The Saints back to a 12-point edge. Almost 10 minutes played in this quarter. Staker yet to get a touch since half-time. Cox, standing start, wins the tap, but it's hacked out of there by Sean Dempster. Saints starting to wrestle momentum away from the West Coast as Wirrapunda surveys his options. Stengline leads Graham, gets there in time.
That's a magnificent kick.
Jamie McNamara wants it and gets it. Now he's looking for Prittis, but his disposal lets him down.
Recall it.
Gardner and Cox wrestling.
Play on.
Both got a piece of the action. Cox did well. Feeds the ball out for Staker. Works it to the goal front. Over Hanson. Chance for Lacroix. Slipped at the wrong time. Ball knocked out of bounds.
Gee, it still looks a dangerous matchup. I don't think you'd be moving Lacroix out of that goal square at all when Fiora's on him. Just need that ball to bounce up. They might have got a head high there too.
Shallow throw in. Cox won the tap. Went to Prittis. Nikoski driven into the ground. Free kick to the West Coast.
That's a very tough one. I'd like to see the replay here. I felt that his tackle on Nikoski was reasonable. Let's have a look.
Well, it's whether you drive in.
That's
He's trying to hold him up, I think. He's been a good player today, Nikoski. 12 possession. They've done a lot of hard work, especially across half-back. They need this goal. They need this goal just, as I said, for the work rate they've put in. They're making multiple changes to the West Coast at this stage with this little break.
Staker's getting some work on his hamstrings. He's taking himself off the ground and he's got 2 trainers rubbing his hamstrings. Maybe early sign of cramp.
Just one goal this year for Nikoski. It was 6 weeks ago and he looked a little rusty. Goddard gets on with the job quickly.
We've got numbers out here. It's one area West Coast have been poor is just on the kick-ins.
The Saints run it up through the wing impressively. Jones was the target right there. Armitage.
Too easy
Sorted
from one
over.
end. Too easy from one end of the ground to the other. Considering it was a set shot on goal, so they had plenty of time to man up their direct opponent in case of a point.
Seaby into the ruck against Gardner, who tried to tap it for Harvey. Coughed it up. Armstrong. Embley. Fletcher. Premiership heroes combined. And here's McKinlay. Stengline leads, but that's ignored. Switch of players on, and Braun has McNamara over the top. Realises now. Robert Eddy trying to close him down. Lead on from Lacroix. Or pushed in the back by Fiora.
Well, I don't want to go back onto the point, but I just think Ross Lyon, you'd think maybe now this man is a forward who looks dangerous, that you might make a change. Or is he trying to teach Aaron Fiora how to play deep in defence? Will he look at that matchup and say, well, it hasn't hurt me so far because they haven't converted? That's the only thing, Jacko. I think they might go with it and say, until he does kick a goal on him. But it is looking dangerous in general play.
1-2 this afternoon for Mark Lacroix. From the boundary line, he's had plenty of practice so far. He makes the adjustment and kicks the goal.
You were before your time, Jacko. You told it one early.
I told you they kick a lot from that end, and it's great to see that Mark Lacroix took the responsibility that time because he knew he had a couple of shots on. He's been very threatening, and he's popped up. It was Brent Staker in the second quarter, but and young Ebert, but he's had 3 shots on goal in this quarter, and he's threatening. So I think Ross Lyon might have to make that move very shortly.
Well, he hasn't so far, and I'm looking to see if the runner's going out there. Here he goes.
A multiple goal kicker in 5 of his 7 games, Lacroix, and the runner's heading out in the direction of
And he's got
Fiora.
paper in his hand, so he's looking at you go to one player and this player go to another matchup. So it's going to be very interesting. Yep.
Here it is.
5 points the difference, 14 and a half minutes played. Here in the third, Montagna went without it. Armstrong is there, they open the door. Fletcher caught on the wrong foot, which is his right foot. Ebert, handball over the top to Lynch, in space, took plenty of time to make a decision, shut down by Dal Santo, spills to Braun. Kept running, and Ebert kicks the goal. The West Coast Eagles are in front for the first time today.
Well, luck's of fortune there for West Coast. A slip in the middle of the ground, a turnover. Armstrong, but I like how they came back through the middle of the field as we see Lee Montagna slip. Came back through the middle of the field. Michael Braun has had a big part of this game today. He's been the link man, got the handball over. But Brad Ebert, we watch him continue his run. Brad Ebert, should I say, continue his run. He's still in the play. Michael Braun comes up. That's good leadership, seniority there. Stay involved, keep the ball alive in their forward line. Fantastic goal. West Coast back in this.
Ross Lyon on the phone, he wants some action down there. The teenager Brad Ebert never kicked more than 1 goal in a game before. He's got 3 today in his 13th AFL appearance. West Coast in front. Dal Santo, sense of urgency now. There wasn't one before, and Goddard for Montagna, whose error created the West Coast Eagles lead. Revol out strongly. Takes the mark.
That was a great kick. Lacroix, looks like Goddard's got the job now.
Saints pressuring. Seaby got a fist on it. Spills there to McWalter, and now a chance for the Saints out of bounds on the full. Eric McKenzie up the line. Scott Selwood.
We should have played on there. Take the game on.
Now what St.Kilda midfielders, Jacko, a lot of times when the ball doesn't flow, they don't have enough defensive thought process either. A few West Coast Eagles midfielders getting out of it. Out of the mix.
50. No, there's nothing in that umpire.
He was falling dead. That is...
Common sense is going to come back into the game of football because that is a harsh penalty. He slipped over. I mean, okay, but he let go pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It wasn't that that's an area I believe the AFL have got to readdress.
I agree. Look, a penalty like that, he fell over. It's just instinct that you're going to put your hand out, and they say the spirit of the game. Well, I don't know. It's not involved there.
Kick goals in 3 of his last 4. Jason Graham, but misses to the near side. Scores level.
I think the rule, we know about the rule. If you're retarded after you mark the ball and you're late, well, that's okay. Pay the free kick, but that was just in the same action of play, I thought.
Nikoski back to McKenzie. Ebert available. Open man is Cox. Going to play on. Wants a shepherd from Embley. And gets it.
Not a great kick.
Looking into the sun.
Well done, Armstrong.
West Coast playing with vigour at the moment. Ball out of bounds.
Umpire's right in front of you. I've seen a less given, but you spoke about Ben McKinlay. He peeled away from that contest, and it was up to Armstrong to force the ball to the ground. McKinlay should be the one going up. Armstrong staying on the ground.
Good work from Jason Blake.
Got him.
Needs help now. Lenny Hayes is there. They're under pressure, the Saints. Goddard looking for Sam Fisher. Strong overhead.
Too big.
Marks ahead of Chad Fletcher. Only 4 St Kilda players ahead of the halfway line. So they need to think their way through this. Lenny Hayes will do that better than most. Tried to find Del Santo, but the mark is being paid to Mark Nikoski.
Armstrong's on inside 50.
Goddard retreats away from him now. Needed to play on. Now the lead to the pocket. And the mark has been taken by LaCroix.
Danger man.
Yeah, hearts into the mouth stuff there for Armstrong, very tight.
LaCroix plays on, improves the angle, but can't get the 6 points.
12 months ago, he would have kicked that goal. He's had up and down with injuries, and his touch isn't quite back with him. But by gee, he has been threatening in the 450 for West Coast this quarter.
2 goals, 3 so far for Mark LaCroix. Just thought maybe the balance, you maybe even do it a bit later, but he just
take a little bit more time.
Thanks, David.
Sam Fisher.
This is where they've done a great job, though. You looked at the first quarter when St Kilda were dominant. They were getting run through the middle of the ground. West Coast Eagles get a lot of credit here for their defensive work, stopping the flow from halfback.
Again, a good contest on the wing, and the home faithful are appreciating it as well.
Well, it's an important game for West Coast in the sense they can get a bit of confidence back up, but they've come to the plate. They've started to win more 50-50s, and I mentioned it before, they've put the question back to St Kilda.
Staker, handball over the
Good
top.
running by Selwood.
Handball missed its target, intended for Stengline, coming through strongly there, Andrew McWalter. Now he's got some problems. Ebert taken down strongly.
Tony, another aspect of West Coast play is they've been able to hold the ball in their forward 50. Better competitive spirit. The ball hasn't come out as easy as it has passed in the last 7 weeks.
Cox won the tap. St. Shark it though. Now West Coast back to the pocket. Unable to take the mark there, Matthew Spanger.
Well, all the West Coast Eagles players were looking around thinking maybe it was a little push in the back too, hands on the back at all.
We're going to ask the question here. It's right in the back, and now on the screen you'll see the umpire. No, it didn't show it, but the umpire was very close to the action there.
Blake goes down under a strong tackle.
This is so hard about the interpretations, these rules of a hand on the back. You know,
But Tony, I reckon it's not hard.
that had to be a free kick. And why aren't we getting it right? But still, let's get on. This game is really on alive now.
Play on yours.
Milne leading the charge.
Good chase.
For the Saints, gets a good shepherd. Goes for another bounce as
Someone's
well.
got to come up at him.
70 from home, looks for Revolt.
Magnificent kick.
And the captain takes an important mark.
Now that is the first time that St Kilda since the first quarter have really broken through the midfield, and it had to take one of their small forwards to do it.
We just got caught napping at that stoppage, West Coast. Staker down in the hands of the trainer at the other end, but the tap went forward, and Milne was the one that was able to rush forward with very little resistance.
Staker's cramping up behind play.
He's done a fair bit of work today.
Revolt, 2 goals, 3 so far today. Likes it off the boot, and the Saints are back in front.
Well, just looking at Brent Staker, it's still in the hands of the trainers. I think you come off the ground, you know the rotations, and try and get him right. But look at this breakaway here. Quick kick forward, smart play. The momentum of that ball had to be turned around. And as I said, they've really dropped off in that running area, St Kilda, from their midfielders, and it takes Stephen Milne, a small forward, but still here. He had to finish well, kick the ball out in front of Riewoldt. You cannot defend against that. Staker off the ground.
Over the fourth time in his last 5 games, Riewoldt has 3 or more goals. Margin is 5. He's kicked a goal in each of the 3 quarters so far. 22.5 minutes played since half-time. Cox up against Blake. Ball sneaks out the back. Del Santo, quick kick out of the congestion. Riewoldt has to come again. McKenzie there with him. Good effort as well. Blake, quick hands. Saints pressing again. Gardner at the back, couldn't find it. Now Milne lurking, took one to the head, tried to draw a free kick, umpire having none of it. Adam Selwood with a clearing hand pass. Running back into the traffic, Eric McKenzie. And now a little undecided. Kick was partially smothered. Prittis couldn't mark it. Clint Jones trying to work it to his own advantage, but it's out of bounds.
Let's just have a look at Milne. Oh, just a passing knee, probably accidental.
I think he went through his legs here. Or just got clipped him with that knee.
Yeah.
Harvey got it back from Clint Jones. Eddie has been impressive. Good distance with the kick. Gardner couldn't take the mark, and the West Coast are away here. They string forward.
Keep running.
Scott Selwood measures the kick. It was a little short, but it finds Ben McKinlay. Ebert on the left foot around the body, trying to get Seaby involved. Couldn't control it. Close to the boundary line. That looked a little high on Spanger.
Oh, he's just got to. Well done. He's got the free kick, but don't panic here. Take the time. He can open up the angle up a little bit here. Have a shot on goal. He can kick this. He's just got to believe in himself.
1 goal straight this season. One of 4 changes to the team from last week, sliding across the face. A minor score.
Well, no doubt about the free, across the shoulder.
Better zone this time, West Coast. The last 2 came out very easily.
Goddard given a long time. He was gun shy on that occasion. Stop-start approach.
Gee, that was close to not 15. You wouldn't think 15. I like to buy real estate off this umpire. But this is exactly how they got back in the game in the second quarter. Just stemming the flow of the running of the St Kilda. Well done.
Now Santo, Jamie McNamara almost claimed the mark. Now they wrestle on the turf for it.
Showing good strength in his body, Jamie McNamara. A couple of contests on that aerial contest. Unlucky not to complete the mark, but he's going to be a player.
Only 20 years of age and only 2 games last season. So an up-and-coming prospect. Prittis hasn't had his best day. Continue to try hard though, wrapped up by Luke Ball.
And Michael Gardner off the ground because Bo Wilkes had beat him in 2 marking contests when they'd gone forward. So they've gone smaller, the Saints. Better set up there.
Both these teams very tired at the moment. Been a very warm day, 19 degrees, and we are on the biggest, longest ground in the AFL.
Good pick, good pick. That's what they're there for.
Work too by Cox.
He's a big kick, Quentin Lynch.
Oh, he couldn't do it.
But he's got to hurry it up. He's got to get in there.
Weerapunda's loose in the forward pocket.
Heads in that direction. Seaby takes it off hands, splits the centre. West Coast back in front.
What I liked about that kick was it faded a little bit to the advantage of about 3 West Coast players that could compete for the ball. David Weerapunda looked threatening. Mark Lacroix was underneath it. And Big Seaby, well, he competes for it. He got front position, worked hard, lucks of fortune, ball lands in his hand, instinctively left foot, kicks a goal. Fantastic. But it was because of Quentin Lynch's kick was to the forwards' advantage. Well done.
I like just having David Weerapunda here. We can see there Seaby just off the pack, left foot, natural. Weerapunda up forward is very dangerous.
Seaby's first game for a month, only his 4th goal of the season. Ross Lyon with plenty to ponder at the moment. Here's Prittis on all fours, wrestled away by Luke Ball.
Well done, Braun. He won that ball then.
Been good all day. Here's Eddie, who likewise.
Gee, they were out there in the West
They were.
Coast. Just missed the hand with the handball. Went to ground, but gee, they were going.
80 seconds left on the clock.
Nick, ball's kick. Good ball's kick. Got him across here. Guys, clear out behind the back.
Chance for the Saints
Right.
to reclaim the lead.
Well done, Michael Braun. He's just
Game ball.
fighting that hard.
He's muscled his way to the front there.
And got a bit of an ovation there by the crowd. He's virtually
He's a
playing on
warrior.
one leg. He's a warrior, but he's set a very good example for his younger teammates today.
Played his first ever game against the Saints as well, round 11, 1997. Luke Ball scurries a kick forward. Selwood was there, so too Milne, and he's missed a lot.
Geez, dangerous Milne.
Yeah.
He was in the contest, he was out of the contest, and by gee, he responded very quickly.
I was just going to say he's nearly the Lacroix
Yep.
of St Kilda at the moment. 2 small forwards are the ones who are getting out of the mix, and both are very dangerous at the moment.
All 36 players in one half of the ground.
Big Mark Seaby here. He's got a big one.
Free nudge.
Blake with the push, free kick.
But he put himself in the contest. That's what he needs to do. And you only do that by work rate, take the pressure off Dean Cox, but his form hasn't been all that great of recent months, and today he's got a little bit back into it.
Seaby,
That's a poor kick. I'll give him a rap.
straight to Sam Fisher.
That's dumb football.
It is.
You've got to find someone, kick it backwards.
Dangerous kick. Braun again with the support of Prittis. Only Lacroix in the goal square. And now McKinlay presents himself, but Robert Eddy's right with him. McKinlay came again looking for Lynch.
We've just got to be patient here, West
Time's
Coast.
going to beat them. They're not going to get it off in time, but we have a tremendous final. A goal or less this year. The West Coast have lost 2 games by a goal or less this season, and we are underway in the final quarter. The West Coast Eagles with a 2-point edge and so much to play for.
Well done, Mark Seaby. He got himself a kick there, or made the contest.
Ebert drives the West Coast forward to centre half forward. Loose ball. Lenny Hayes went without it. Montagna thought about off the ground, then scooped it up instead. Hand pass missed the target though. Coming through Del Santo and gets it back from King. Measures the pass for Milne. Got away from Adam Selwood momentarily. And on the lead now, David Armitage. Milne held onto it for a long time, and that allowed McNamara to get to Armitage. And what a grab! A
They went over
candidate.
the line. It's a mark. It's not a mark, but it is a mark if you know how.
Yeah, the second
Unfortunately,
grab was over the line, I would think. The
This is-
umpires.
This is the future of the West Coast Eagles.
Oh. Slip catch.
Seaby wins the tap.
Play on,
Only as far as McWalter. Luke Ball measures the pass. Revolt in a tangle there with Eric McKenzie.
Got it out.
Armitage supplies a tackle. Now McKenzie dancing on the boundary line, and McNamara and over.
Well, they're going to come St Kilda, so the West Coast Eagles, they really have to just see if they can hold on here. Just stop them from scoring and see if the game will break open later in this quarter.
King wrestled it away from Seaby. Going through Adam Selwood, trying to draw a free kick. Umpire having none of it.
No.
90 seconds played in the final quarter.
You just see the looks on the faces there. They want to win, don't they, the West Coast Eagles supporters?
Well, the Eagles
Gee, it's
won.
intense there.
The Eagles won in the first round, lost 8 in a
out.
row,
Yep.
and then won again. Then they're heading for either 8 in a row again or a win.
Free kick to Quentin Lynch. He was blocked in his path to the ruck contest. So well done by the umpires. They have been pretty strong on that. The work around the contest or around
Gee,
the stoppages.
Seaby's on the corridor. Didn't see him. He's gone long now to a one-on-one.
Had the mark there. Control the ball.
Eddie at the back, but he couldn't prevent Armstrong from taking the mark. Now the lead of Hansen, a little deep for him. Sam Gilbert couldn't find it either. McKinlay inboard for Fletcher. Hansen hurried off the kick.
Good pass.
Stingline Well, the West Coast Eagles go forward. Coming out strongly, the mark's being taken by LeCras.
One player that's grown today is Bo Wilkes. He's certainly done some good work off the ball in aiding one run and support. But the kick on that occasion by Scott Selwood, he looked up his vision through the middle of the ground as they transferred the ball and saw a leading LeCras and a David Wirapunda underneath the ball. And when you do that, you give your forwards every opportunity.
Well, LeCras kicked the West Coast Eagles' first goal in the second and third quarters, and he's obliged here in the fourth as well.
Well, he's become a real problem child for the St Kilda defence. Of course, it was Fiora early in that third quarter where he was getting off him, had 3 shots at goal, and just here hits the ball hard. He's got Sammy Fisher on him now, so a player who knows how to play the game. Good mark to Stengel. A bit fortuitous in the way that kick came back into the corridor, but just ran at the ball hard. Wirapunda's down. I just like he's giving a contest, Wirapunda, and they look dangerous now with that setup up forward.
Well, Mark LeCras reprises his 3 goals against the Saints the last time they played and equals his season high this year. An 8-point edge after the Saints led by as many as 26 points in the first and second quarters. Luke Ball. Revolt the target. McKenzie trying to edge him under the flight of the ball. McNamara controlled that well, growing in confidence, as are the Eagles as a team.
Well done.
Braun. They slip it over for Selwood. Hansen. Lead on from Lynch. Juggles it but can't complete it. In fact, McKinlay. Oh, this hand pass missed the target. Past Braun. Here's Eddie trying to draw a free kick. Latching onto the loose ball, Sam Gilbert for Revolt. Milne and Armitage available. Adam Schneider lurking in the forward 50 as well. And on short, they find Lenny Hayes.
He's made a couple of costly mistakes, Ben McKinley. That handball, if he hits the target, West Coast are having a shot on goal. Ball goes over the top, and here St Kilda about to go inside their forward 50.
They contest at the goal front. McNamara feeds out the hand pass for Seaby. He's on the retreat. Adam Selwood in support. And now out to the other side, they find Quentin Lynch.
2 players that have lifted in this quarter, not lifted, but really taken the game on, is this bloke here, McNamara, and Eric McKenzie. They're getting themselves amongst it, and Ebert, it's been just fantastic play by the young players.
Ebert's been good all day. He was looking for Staker, but he's almost out on his feet. Saints come back, and here's Fiora.
Got numbers on the outer side.
Yeah, Montagne's gone.
Just trying to get over there.
Chance for the Saints. Lenny Hayes unloads from 40 metres out, pushing it across the face, a minor score.
Well, that's a let-off for West Coast.
I'll tell you what's happened too. I think Lynch and Hansen, as we know, they all push up the ground, but Lynch has been a really good player, being that player coming just out of defence to link up between the wing and the forward 50. So he's giving them something to kick to at the moment, Quentin Lynch.
17 possessions.
Here he is again.
Quentin Lynch, now number 18, but he's had 6 inside 50s.
Out wide, Seaby the target.
Got to mark it.
And the height advantage over Montagna. Played on against Robert Eddy and coughed it up.
Well, they'll play.
Lenny Hayes measures the pass for Revolt.
Great spoil.
Couldn't take the mark under pressure. Lenny Hayes there again, feeding it back. Move into the corridor. Stengline went without it. Goddard. Chance for the Saints. Fletcher there for the West Coast Eagles, with the support of Adam Selwood, who surrenders a minor score.
Well, let's just have a look at this with Mark Seaby's mark. He did step 1 foot forward.
Now, that's
he
a
took
mark.
the mark. Okay.
Oh.
Well, what about the player that held on to him? If
Well,
the umpire called a mark, and the direct opponent, Robert Eddy, grabbed hold of him.
Well, what he said though is that he has played on before he got tackled, so then it becomes play on. But yeah, amazing.
Dangerous football from the West Coast, pinned in their defence, but Embley now clears the danger zone. Seaby with another chance. Gardner arrives late. Knocked the ball according to the umpire. Milne looks for Revolt, and he takes the mark.
Well, they got themselves to blame with these turnovers early in this quarter. They haven't been able to bring it out with any poise, and that's what really keeps the pressure. The more you go inside 50s, I think the Saints have had 4 inside 50s so early in this quarter. Somewhere the dam's got to break.
Well, he's kicked 3 goals, 3 today, Nick Revolt.
20 seconds gone.
This isn't beyond him as he looks to tie the scores away. Likes it off the boot, and we are tied.
Well, you mentioned it, Tony. A couple of the turnovers by West Coast coming out of rebounding outside their 50, but that was a captain's goal. Second chance here. Well done, Michael Gardner, just balling the ball, bringing it down. And when you go back inside your forward 50, you'll catch players unopposed. And Nick Rewalt needed to kick a captain's goal. Centre clearance is going to be very important now here for West Coast. They've just got to continue to keep working and pushing the ball forward.
Well, in game number 150, Nick Revolt has 4. 10-11 apiece, and the crowd of 34,037 certainly had their value for money today, and they are in full voice. Now Santo running onto the loose ball, goal side of Ebert. He did a good job just to pull him off the kick. Clint Jones, the former West Australian, fires away indiscriminately and missed the light.
That's a big miss, isn't it? Like, even a point's going to put a lot more pressure on.
Nikoski.
Free kick back here, holding. Back here, 2. Free kick here.
Free kick going to Scott Selwood.
Gee, that's a bad free kick by Schneider, because the pressure's always been on in this early part of the quarter to keep possession coming out of defence, and they haven't done it well.
Armstrong for Prittis. Undecided, then hacks it toward Hansen, who read it a little better than his opponent, Jason Graham.
He's got to hit that target if he's going to get him.
Lynch. And Prittis running by.
Oh, Nikoski's got the left foot.
Unloading from inside the centre square. Lynch.
That's a massive kick.
He's kicked it 70 metres.
Well, Ash Hansen competed for the ball, looked inside and saw Quinton Lynch. He thought about it and got it to him. Had a couple of options there, but well done, David Wirapunda. Just held his body on the line to give it a bit of a shepherd. And a big goal for West Coast. Good response.
He's kicked that from 65 metres and did it easy in the end. Great conversion, and they really needed that, because they've been under the pump the first 5 minutes of this quarter.
Well, he kicked 52 goals last year to lead the club. That's only 19 for this year, but the fans don't mind right now. Goal the difference. Almost 11 minutes done in term number 4, and Lynch is at it again, this time smothered. King gave it up. McNamara scooped out of there by LeCras. Hansen just couldn't reel it in. Good work from Gilbert. Graham arches the back, gets away from the danger zone. King for Clint Jones. Revolt the target again.
Well done, got in front position that time.
Lynch in hands for McNamara. Looking for Staker. The kick hung in the air a long time, but he's off now from 55. He unslowed. Wirapunda goal side. Will score through. And they'll be singing in Railway Town in the Silver City tonight.
I'll tell you what's happened. Quinton Lynch has turned into a midfielder. He has been sensational this quarter. He got that quick handball out through the middle of the corridor there, and Staker, gee, had to stretch all his weight off 2 steps from outside 50, and the man who's helped them twice, David Wirapunda, could have gone for that mark. You see it here, slipped just by dropping down as he did. He wasn't going to go for that at all. Fantastic turnaround, but well done to Quinton Lynch as a midfielder in there for the Eagles.
Well done, Bo Wilkes. He took it upon to take front position against Nick Rewalt. That's very hard to do that, but he neutralised the ball, won a 50-50, and from there West Coast were able to go to the other side to Brent Staker. So the goal's got to be credit to Bo Wilkes. Great play.
West Coast with their biggest lead of the game. 12 and a bit minutes done here in the 4th quarter, and Lynch is at it again.
He is at it. He's a man possessed.
Well, that's what you want. You want your big players to stand up, big bodies around the ball, and win the contest and win your 50-50s and get them out. He did it in a previous centre clearance.
Winning the tap as well. Omnipresent Quinton Lynch for the moment. High tackle from Milne.
Well, this is this issue with St Kilda, the clearances. As we said, when their bad form's been this year, they've got bolted in the clearances, and I think it's starting to happen right now. They've turned it around, West Coast. Got to get it deep inside your 50 here.
Looking into the sun. At the back of the pack, McKinlay couldn't bring it down. Luke Ball gets it out of the danger zone. Schneider. Right on the boundary line and over, but touched in the process.
Tell you what, McNamara and Boworks, the impact they've had in this last quarter, double teaming and then going on and winning their own 50-50, showing some initiative. That's very, very good play to do at such a young age in a critical game when it's so tight.
Cox wrestling with King to a stalemate. Umpire didn't want to bail either of them out. Look at the tangle on top of the ball.
Now, what we're going to see here, we've seen Quinton Lynch throw his body in with Gay Abandon. The Saints need someone who's going to stand up for this midfield. Will it be, you have to depend on Robert Harvey. It shouldn't be that way. Montagna, these types of players, they're going to show some real discipline and desperation in this tight game.
Spanger, happy to hack it clear. Good hands on that occasion from Jason Blake. Kept it in front of his body and now he's running away from them. Goddard in the centre square. Revolt got some separation from Wilkes. Couldn't complete the mark. And here's Bo Wilkes with help. Hansen.
Well, he's got to get it out.
Free kick. He did that well. It was very reckless by Lenny Hayes, I think it was. It was reckless. I don't know why you're having to go up the umpire there, Lenny, because your knees have cannoned straight into Ashley Hansen's head.
Not a lot of movement in the forward line at the moment. So he comes to Braun. Cox.
He can go back to Braun here if he stays in the corridor.
Looking beyond that.
Keep attacking. That's what's got him
McNamara.
in this position.
Burpund on the lead now. McNamara hesitant. Now just unloads to the top of the square. Stingline front position. Goddard couldn't take the mark. Eddie for Harvey, and now Sam Fisher. Neat kick, Fiora.
Cox is coming off very, very gingerly. He's hurt that foot again.
Well, that's a bad sign. Cox immediately, and with his face down in the ground as well.
Oh, he's got a cramp. He's got a big cramp.
Well, they do hurt, especially if it's in his hamstring. Well, missed the target here, but they've got numbers now, the Saints. Goddard's out in the wing.
Sam Fisher with the ball. Luxury of a couple of bounces. It's been like a heavyweight title fight, and both are feeling the pinch here with 9.5 minutes to play on the clock. West Coast Eagles lead by 2 goals, and St Kilda have only kicked 4 since half-time.
Now, the West Coast Eagles have to know that they're going to keep going through Rewalt, you would think, most of the time here. Get numbers in front of him.
Graham hoists it high. Revolt couldn't take the mark. Harvey found it on the ground. Milne
Danger man.
lurking dangerously. Spanger in the goal square, can't find it. Which way will it bounce? And now rush through.
He did well there because he under enormous pressure, but he kept his feeding. That foot is very important that he didn't slip over. And then Montagna came across him, pressured him, and he tapped the ball through. So I've been very impressed with that try down there today. McNamara, McKenzie.
That's Dean Cox. I'm not convinced it's a cramp. It looks a little more serious than that.
Well, it could be a cramp. They hurt more than pulling your hamstring half the time, John. If you get one up there, if you don't release it, oh, gee, they are painful.
Wilkes to Seavey.
This is the man now. If Cox is down, Seavey's the man who's got to give a target, especially linking up.
Has support outside of him and inside. This is Staker. Had 17 disposals in the first half. Now he has 22. Eddie getting back, been impressed with his game today.
Well, there's 8 minutes left. West Coast don't panic. They've just got to keep maintain possession of the ball. And when they go into their forward line, make sure they go to the right target.
Seavey on all fours, trying to work it forward. Fisher dispossessed by Staker.
Great pressure.
Well, they want it more at the minute, West Coast.
Saints digging deep as well. Robert Harvey lost control. Spanger prominent. Ball going nowhere.
Well, I'm with you, Jacko. I think just some of these younger kids, the enthusiasm, they've been on the losing end for a long period of time. The Saints, gee, it shouldn't be that way because the Saints are playing for top 4 and finals. Great pressure there by the forward line of West Coast Eagles.
30 of the 36 in the West Coast Eagles attacking 50. No easy kicks to be found there as we tick over the 18-minute mark.
West Coast have got McNamara and Emberley just hovering outside the 50. If a quick kick comes out, they're going to swallow it up and have a shot on goal.
Play on.
Seaby. This is Britis.
Free kick.
It's a free kick against Goddard.
And 50.
And 50.
Well, the biggest mistake of the day.
Well, no doubt about the free kick. He just went at it too hard there, too aggressive, trying to create something. But as soon as the free kick was given, and there's an easy goal.
Scott Selwood gets his first goal in AFL, and it's an important one.
Well, if it's his first goal, he certainly earned it. But that's what's the great thing about West Coast today. They've earned the play. They've kept the ball alive. It was a free kick. I mean, Goddard, he knows he's given it away, and then, I mean, he's given the 50 as well. But that's the passion of the game, you know, that you don't want to lose. You want to keep the ball alive and try and win the game for your team. But I've been super impressed by the West Coast younger brigade taking the game on. Well done, young Selwood.
Less than 8 minutes to play, and the West Coast Eagles lead by 17 points. And the Saints with big problems. CB up against Gardner.
Michael, you bumped him while he was trying to contest the ball.
West Coast free kick.
Cheers, going all their way now.
CB for Hansen. He was nudged under it by Goddard.
He's had a bad couple there, young Goddard.
Just got to learn. Close your mouth now because another free
Well, the
kick.
hands were right at the back.
Yeah, that's a free kick. Seen some softer ones today, but that was a free kick.
Selwood hands over. Nikoski from 55 goes to work, and the West Coast Eagles are looking like winners now.
Well, Tony, St.Kilda dropped their bundle, and times like this you've got to respond, but they got caught napping there because Martin Nikoski, predominant on his left foot, he's done that many a times, and he read the play well. No one wanted to man him up. He crept forward, got the handball, and then Big Quinton Lynch was there to aid a Shepherd, and he was able to run another 7 or 8 yards, have a shot on goal. His game has been very good today, Martin Nikoski, 16 possessions and kicked the goal. Well done.
Nikoski's first goal in 6 weeks.
That's just bad defence. That's when you think the game's nearly gone, you're too tired, you don't concentrate on the abilities or strengths of your opposition.
Into time on. West Coast Eagles by 23 after St Kilda led by 26 in the first and second quarters. Montagna dispossessed. And slow to get back to his feet as well. Ebert, who's had a good day, but we're a punda. He's held it.
That's great, man. They are possessed in the West Coast.
Going back to David, we're a quarter. There shouldn't be any worries with the distance.
Stingline just come up and told him that's a little bit of experience now. They've got the game. They can go further in front.
I still believe this man should finish his career as a forward. I just think he's so exciting. He might get you to 2 goals a week. That just that average of 12 points per week can win you games.
The goal kicker in his past 2 games, David Wirapunda.
It's on the Tory.
Going the torpedo from 55. Just shades to the far side and a minor score.
There's tired legs out there, boys, and well done. He milked the clock a little bit and had a shot on it.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the torpedo. If you know that your legs aren't going to carry the ball and you've already set up on it, go with it.
Goddard restarts. Still 6 minutes on the clock. Graham nudged in the back by Stengline. It went unwhistled. West Coast Eagles mounting another forward charge. Ebert went to Lynch, who was blinded by the sun. Scoops up the loose ball. Back to Ebert. Tackled, taking the kick. It might fall fortuitously. Here's Lacroix. He's pushed out of it. An obvious free against St.Kilda.
It's amazing how the furthest umpire picked it, and umpire Nichols was right in front of it. He didn't give the free kick, so
Whether it's on the blind side, but let's have a look.
blind side is right in front of him.
Got to be a hand. Yeah.
He might be there for his bouncing, Tony.
They've nearly thrown it in here, St Kilda. You know, some undisciplined play, some stupid play on that occasion. Like, they were both still in the contest.
So, get right position.
Mark Lacroix's career best is 5 goals. Season best is 3. He's kicked goals here today in the second, third, and already here in the fourth quarters. And he's put the finishing touches on as well.
I'm just going to put it down to desperation. Their intent in this last quarter. The game was there in the balance. St Kilda kicked the first one, went back in front, and West Coast have steadied. And you mentioned something which is quite concerning for St Kilda fans and Ross Lyon. They've thrown it in. Some undisciplined acts. This is a side that's striving to be in the top 4, but hats off to West Coast. An all-round performance by all their players who have contributed. 4-quarter effort today.
Well, the West Coast Eagles have kicked the last 5 goals. The margin is 30, and the celebrations are underway. 7 goal kickers for the West Coast, 6 for St Kilda. And Lynch has played an important hand. Didn't get much on that kick. Jones knocked down by Braun, who's been tireless today.
I think Quentin Lynch might have had 3 or 4 clearances from the centre bouncers. Mark Seavey, look, I said Mark Seavey had the lift with Cox on the bench, and he's done a really good job since he's replaced him. Lynch again.
British supplies a tackle. Clinton Jones, Lenny Hayes, and now Fiora. That's King all alone on the wing.
He's just come on from the bench.
Del Santo available over the top. Even with nothing left in the tank, Lynch has plenty. Del Santo for Milne. Edged underneath it, the ball runs on. Robert Harvey can't get there in time, a minor score. Quick restart from the West Coast. McKenzie hands over for Lynch. Ebert available, looks in that direction and marks now. Hanson charging to the wing.
I'd love to know who's playing on Quentin Lynch in midfield. Because if is it a genuine midfielder, he's got to have a look at himself and say defensively, I mean, very ordinary.
He's had 3 clearances for the game, Tony. He's had 7 inside 50s and 26 possessions.
Ross Lyon's asking the same question, Tony.
Oh.
Staker the target. Can't mark. Got her. With help from Sam Fisher. Braun pinned on the boundary line. Goes to the goal front. Ball loose over the back.
Oh, it's hit the post.
Post by Will.
He didn't realise how much time he had, but he'll get that with experience. But
He wouldn't have been there very often, would he, Jacko?
not one for the highlight reel. He missed one in front, unlucky.
The Saints charge away. Dempster beyond the wing. Revolt nudged under it again by McKenzie. Here's Graham showing them a clean pair of heels. Keeps it low. Bounces well. It sneaks through for the Saints.
Well, Tony, you mentioned before their pace into their forward line. They've been very stagnant, but on that occasion, good inside 50 there. Well done, McKenzie. He's held his own very well, but that's how you got to hit the pace. And he comes off for a rest.
And Graham comes off for a rest. Well, I don't know whether he called that change, but if it wasn't on and he didn't call it, I think you've got to keep him out there. He's one player who runs with the ball. There's still 3 minutes to go in this game. So you are a chance to get back in with a couple of quick goals.
Graham on the bench. West Coast with a 4-goal lead. Ross Lyon has seen his 4-game winning streak come to a shuddering halt at the hands of the 15th ranked team. Seavey missed it completely. Here's Lynch enjoying the contest.
I think he's embraced the contest, John. And I haven't seen this part of Quentin. I know he can push up the ground as a key forward, but he is just in midfield clearance, is dominant. And ruck work like this.
Well, St Kilda, they've got to wake up to
Shocking,
that,
isn't it?
because that's the 3rd or 4th time he's done that.
Another chance for the West Coast Eagles. Braun. Well, heard the voice, but it was from a St Kilda player. Luke Ball stops, needs help, missed the target of Clinton Jones. Hanson arrives strongly. Lenny Hayes, look out, Blake. Taken down by Spanger, dragged off the kick. Mill hurriedly comes back for Eddie. Well, they are up and about at the moment, the West Coast Eagles. Now Santo hands over. Schneider looking for King. Seavey right there with him. Took front spot, went without it, but the ball trickles over the line.
I'm coming down. No, I'm coming down.
Braun comes to the bench, replaced by Rapunda, and a nice round of applause for the veteran as well.
Play on.
Chance now for Lenny Hayes, wheeling and dealing. That's a minor score.
Play on.
Well, it's time to run down the clock now, West Coast Eagles. Just got to keep possession here, and that man again. Now this is embarrassing for St Kilda. It's embarrassing for the St Kilda midfield. For a man of this calibre, yeah, we know that he's a key forward. To be able to get out like he is with the freedom and have that many possession in the second half of this game.
Have a look at that free kick this late stage of the game.
Unloads for Seavey or Rapunda. Saints work it back in their direction though. Here's a chance for Sam Fisher. He goes to work to the goal square. Revolt will win the free kick.
Yeah.
To bring the margin back to 17 points, but only 1:52 on the clock.
Another issue with St Kilda, Jacko, is too many times do they go. He's a great player, but you have to share the load in your forward line. He's been the only key forward other than Milne as he kicks the goal.
5 for Revolt.
Oh, just a learning experience there for Eric McKenzie. You heard the umpire's explanation, a front on contact, and he illegally hit the arms. But I've been impressed the way they've battled some of the young players. Fantastic player, Nick Revolt, champion, 150 games today, but some players have had their time on him. Spanger, McNamara, some of the work he's done through the midfield. Very pleasing for John Morsfold and the future of this football club.
6 last week for Revolt, 5-3 today in his 150th game. But it's not going to be enough, and the drought is about to break for the West Coast. Lost their last 7 and 14 of their last 15. But as we edge over the 30-minute mark, they've done enough today. Ball for Clint Jones. And strongly, Adam Selwood got a fist to it and one across the head.
They've really missed Justin Kaczynski too, so this week just that other target.
And the flexibility that he can have
in the
going
ruck,
forward and in the ruck. And then losing Max Hutchton early has hurt him as well.
Make sure we whistle them up, boys. Make sure we whistle them up.
This Hutchton off inside the first 10 minutes with what we believe is a calf injury. McKenzie.
Gee, that was good running from McKenzie.
Coming up for disposal number 11.
That wasn't so good.
Not his best. King slaps it to the advantage of Revolt, but he went without it. McKenzie might get a chance to atone. Seavey. Free kick going to Prittis. Spanger leads. That's ignored.
They're out in their feet, St Kilda.
Will soak up the clock. Lynch. Coming up for disposal number 28. That's Rapunda. Selwood leads now, and Adam Selwood gets the mark.
Well, they're going to enjoy it, and they've deserved it, West Coast. Apart from that first quarter when they kicked the first 4, they've been in the game.
Well, they're not prepared to get the wooden spoon just yet, and for the first time in 9 weeks, the West Coast Eagles are winners. Final margin 17 points and the fans get to sing the song after a long drought.